All right, everybody, we're back, and big surprise, it is raining again, drizzling. So I'm just gonna be doing some cutting today, but what I really wanted to do today was honestly, YouTube, like I said, the internet's like a blessing and a curse at the same time. Such a blessing because you can look up anybody. I'm a huge fan of Buck and Billy Ray. If the 5 people I have on here get a chance, go check out his videos. They're phenomenal. And he's a teacher, and that's what I want to do. Like I said, I am not a professional logger, and I'm still learning how to do firewood. I mean, it doesn't take rocket science to do that, but that's what we're doing. So one thing he did say that I never even thought of, and I know for a fact my dealer does not touch these, is hitting your rakers. I would have never thought about that. I used to just drop my chains off, which I don't do anymore. I sharpen them myself now that I know how to because of videos on YouTube. Thank you, Buckin. So we're gonna hit the rakers. I use Oregon. Actually, this is a Husky, but I do use Husky when I can, or if it's available. Oregon, they put out an awesome tool as well. So we're just gonna get a couple strokes on the rakers. Let's see, where did I leave off here? Right here. Now he says, which is another great trick, put your thumb right on the tooth. This way here, you're not actually getting any of the tooth, because you don't want to hit the broad side of this with your file onto your tooth. So you just hit the rakers on the 45 a few times. 1, 2, 3, good. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I'm not crushing the pressure. I'm just basically using the whole file to do its job. And I can see that the metal is coming off, which means I'm doing what I'm intending to do. Now, if you notice, even in his last video, he said don't go straight across, because listen to the sound. Okay? If you go on a 45, you're actually using, because these are on a 45, you're actually using the tool correctly, which I had no idea about. See how you can tell the sound? When you're on metal to metal, you will definitely know. How's everybody's week going so far? I think it's Wednesday or Thursday. See? Again, just learning. And I'm doing 5 strokes, only because this chain hasn't seen. See? You can tell, see? And then when I straighten it out, the sound gets better. Hopefully everybody's having a good week. I know a lot of people have gotten back to work this week. Hopefully everybody is having a good end of their week. Write in the comments too what kind of stuff you guys are into. I've gotten a few comments so far, I kind of like doing this YouTube thing. I got to be honest. It's kind of I don't know if you guys can hear that. Excuse me. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but you can actually hear the file just doing its job. This is a 24-inch blade. 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, I'm not putting any significant pressure on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if anybody's wondering, what this is doing is it's allowing you to let your tooth get more bite into your wood, which is obviously everybody's goal. All right, and oh, two more, I'm sorry. And if you're hearing that screeching noise, that's just me not being level. Again, new at this. This is actually the first time I've done this, but hope to see a big improvement. And I believe we have one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. All right. Now, let me go get my sharpener and I'll show you some quick tips on sharpening. Again, not a professional. People in the comments want to run their mouth, that's fine. I know I may be doing it right or wrong, but again, it's a learning process, and as a community of just hardworking, honest people, let's just try and keep everything polite, and that goes for people replying to comments too. Give me 1 second. All right. In case anybody's wondering, this is a Husky 460. I love all power saws. My biggest regret is I had a fire when I was 20 years old. I had an apartment, and it actually had a fireplace, and I did not have to turn the heat on. 1, because I was on the 2nd floor. 2, because it had a fireplace in it. Well, me being 20 years old and knowing enough, and had I had inspected it, I wish I had known that there were small, and just be careful people, if you have small cracks in your grout on your bricks, you need to grind those out and remortar them or regrout them. Thank the Lord, and I felt absolutely terribly guilty, but a few embers, and this was days later. I had my girlfriend at the time over, watching a movie, had a nice fire going, the whole nine, and we had the fire hot, I was using it actually as heat. I would have a small cordless fan that just gently blew a nice warm breeze, and like I said, without even the heat on, it would get to 78, 80 degrees, no problem. And that's just a normal fireplace for decorative. So by the grace of God, only a few embers fell through, but those embers stayed hot enough on the insulation, right where the insulation meets your floor joist, and it started slowly burning. Now, I can't tell because there's, smoke coming from the fire. So by the grace of God, it went through, but the neighbor was able to catch it in time. I live in a small town. We have a volunteer fire department, so it took them about 15, might have even been 20 minutes to get there. I didn't want to start dumping bowls of water down on, to these people's property, because like I said, I was on the second floor. Fire department came. By the time they came, there was flame, and I'm talking there was flame coming up through my fireplace and obviously out the chimney. However, the first floor people ended up getting their stuff ruined. So I was at work, I get a phone call, your house is on fire. Get the F out of here, I said. But like I said, by the grace of God, the people were able to, they had some pictures. They had a fireplace downstairs too. They didn't use theirs. The guy was, which doesn't matter, but the guy was a white collar guy. I think he did IT, and never even used the fireplace. By the time the fire department got there, the people, there was no loss to their property other than having it flooded. So I ended up going to a buddy of mine's, and he ended up getting obviously put in a hotel because we were renting at the time. So you gotta, it's almost like you have to check everything these days. I mean, this is the, I'm just gonna take you guys off for a second. This is the excavator that I use. It is not mine, but it has the thumb on here. I think it's a 308 or maybe a 304. I'm not sure. It's a new cat. It has the thumb. There's my wood pile, and then I have that over there, and then behind that I still have that to cut. The thumb makes all the difference in the world. It's a 304, excuse me. The thumb makes all the difference in the world when you're grabbing wood. I've been an operator for, I'm getting old. I'm 40, so I've been operating for 21 years. And by the way, this saw is actually going out to a guy named Eric Piazza. He's out of Connecticut. He does porting. This is where I live as well. He does porting, and just to give this chainsaw just a little bit more, well, it's actually going to be a lot more. He's going to do a muffler mod. I actually picked this saw up, and as you can tell by the muffler, I maybe put 4 hours on it. There was a guy, and again, there's nothing wrong with being white collar. There was a guy that ended up having, I guess the saw had just too much power for him, and he ended up wanting to get rid of the saw. I picked that saw up. It retails for, I believe, $579, $529, something like that. I was able to actually get this saw for 200 bucks. I saw it on Facebook Marketplace. Excuse me. I found it on Facebook Marketplace, and yes, I wish I had a vice. Found it on Facebook Marketplace. And ended up getting it for 200 bucks. Yeah, this is gonna be rough without a vice. So we're just gonna do the old hillbilly pass-throughs. Now I'm not grinding back. As I'm pulling back, all of my tension is off of this, and I'm just literally in the gullet, which, by the way, get the gullet. It allows for more bite on your tooth. Probably smart to put a glove on, as I yesterday should have gotten stitches, but nothing some super glue and duct tape can't fix. So today I decided I'm just going to be cutting. Now after you get that down pressure, then what you do is, see how you can see how the angle is down? I'm getting the gullet right there, is what they call it. And again, I like to work close. Use the whole file. So I'm curious to see, like I said, you know, conversations are nice, but I'm always active in doing something. I don't know if you guys would like to see, I do small engine repair. I'm just curious as to what you guys would want to see. You know, there's so many channels out there, and again, no matter what, you're gonna get me, whether some people like it or not. But what would you want to see as far as content besides me talking as I'm working? Sorry, I'm right next to an airport, so I think probably a private jet is taking off. I live in a small town in Connecticut, so you hear everything, you know everybody. I like it. Taxes suck. Gas prices are terrible. But going back to my first video, as long as you budget your money, you make it. As long as you're not afraid to work hard. By the way, this is a 3/16 file. Excuse me. Sorry, I chewed tobacco, so instead of saying excuse me, it'll be 5 seconds. That's what it is. And I know it's a nasty habit. Again, down pressure, getting the gullet, 4, 5, 6 strokes, whatever it may need, and then hit your tooth. And then when you're done, your file should be perfectly aligned with that tooth as far as the fit. You shouldn't have any gaps, anything like that. As you can see, I'm twisting it. Man, I can't wait for that GoPro to come in. I think it's gonna make all the difference in the world. Twisting the file as I'm getting the gullet and shaping and shaping the tooth for the way that the file should sit into the tooth, which again should have no gaps. I mean, you don't have to go nuts, but since you're doing it, and that's basically anything in life, if you're doing it, you might as well do it right. I do have a son, which you guys will meet. His name is Hunter. Probably get some quad videos on here. Yeah, this one's bad again. Wish I had a vise. But when you're in the woods, you use what you got. And again, I'm open to tips. If anybody has any tips that they want to share, please do. I'm not one of those guys that is opposed to constructive criticism. I didn't bring my handle today. I was gonna cut a piece of wood just, to stick on the end. So technically I'm using 3/4 of the file, but generally you want to use the entire file. That I will say excuse me for. So when you bring your chains in to get sharpened, number one, they do not hit the gullet, at least my dealer doesn't. And number two, they don't hit the rakers, which if I bring you a, okay, that's done. If I bring you my chain and I need it sharpened, I mean, that's like me, again, for some of you guys that don't know, I do excavation, and that's like me digging a hole. It needs to be 5 feet deep, but I only dig it 4.5 feet, and you have to dig the other half a foot by hand. I mean, it's amazing to me that these guys don't do that, but for the $8 or $12, whatever it costs, it might even be $10, whatever. But for that kind of money, you might as well. I mean, what have we been on here for 4, 5, 6 minutes? I've already hit the rakers. I already did one side. As far as sharpening, I mean, I'd rather do it myself. I find all this work peaceful. It's a change of pace from sitting in a machine and then having to lay out for guys. And when I say lay out, I mean being the supervisor, you have to dictate. Some days I'm a psychiatrist. Some days, my job's interesting, and I'll bring you along once spring comes. But so it's a nice change of pace, and like I said, I'm actually keeping a log, and not that it matters, but I've been splitting by hand. I do about a cord a day. I only have a 1/2 ton pickup, so I get about 3/4 of a cord in my truck, which again, I have the sides. But I think I'm actually going to start doing half cords. I get $185 for a 1/2 cord. That's a Connecticut price. It's cheap. For local deliveries, and if they want it stacked, I charge an additional $30. Usually those customers are people who, if you're a senior citizen, I won't charge you. That's me kind of just giving back for all the blessings that I've been blessed with. But yeah, a 1/2 cord, I don't need any side boxes. I just literally fill my truck, even with the bed, because a cord is 4x4x8, I believe. So a 1/2 cord would be 2x2x4. So yeah, so you guys, like I said, there's money to be made. You need to find, which I can't even tell you. If you live in a small town, I mean, even here in Oxford, it's growing, but there's guys constantly. I mean, there's still so many old school guys, and that's why I'm teaching my son how to be old school as far as resourceful. Learning and figuring things out. If it's something complex, he's 4 years old, but I'll tell you what, he's on a full grant to go to a preparedness school since he's been 3, for kindergarten. He's very smart. He can set his own nail, and 80% of the time it goes in straight. He can take my screw gun. I have a lightweight Makita or DeWalt, and he can set a screw and send it right home. I teach him to slide the shield over until he gets good enough where he can just send it home. But our youth, what people don't understand is you need to spend time with our youth because they're the next in line. You know, I actually I met this guy on Facebook, and as some of you may know, my wood that I had hand split, which tomorrow I actually bought a wood splitter. So didn't think I was gonna do that, but the orders just keep coming. So I'm out with another guy. That's why I'm just gonna cut all day. I'm gonna have another guy come in tomorrow and just split all day. I'm gonna be loading, making runs, and again, everything's between 7 and I think my farthest trip is 18 minutes. And for 185 bucks, I'm gonna take 10 off of that for gas. So we're at 175. Bar and chain oil and fuel. Let's just say, I don't know. Let's just call it $5. So we're at 170, and I'll grab a coffee. That's $2. I mean, just do the math. I mean, and I can make 3 of those a day. So, and again, I get laid off in the winter. So all this money that I make, I donate. Yeah. So again, if you have a pickup truck and are sitting at home, I have no sympathy for you. You can get out there and go on the side of the road, and no police unless you have a law in your state, which I don't even believe one exists. But if you have a law in your state that says you cannot take wood off of the side of the road, fallen trees, etc., which I believe, at least in New England here, I mean, we get blow down trees all the time. If it's dead standing, cut it, split it, it's ready to go. I've had no complaints. I mean, all this wood is actually seasoned once you cut it open. But even some of the trees that I've cut before, it's ready to go. You know what I mean? Knock the bark off 90% of the time, and you're good to go. If the bark doesn't come off, that's fine. That doesn't actually mean the wood is green. And again, just you can make money. All you need is a truck and a pair of these and one of these. I mean, I'm selling a customer of mine said, Matt, if you want this, take it. It was a pull and saw. I mean, I have 7 chainsaws, which you know, and that's also another point. Never come to your wood lot with one saw. Don't ever do it. I made that mistake yesterday. I had to go home. Again, wasted time. Time is money. Always bring 2 saws. Always make sure you have a file. Always make sure that you, at the end of the day, bar and chain oil, fill it up, fuel, fill it up, and you're ready to go for the next morning. Being prepared is 90% of everything. Get a plan together the night before. Like, I already know which logs I want to come off this pile to cut already. So, you know, get a plan in your head, be prepared, know your limits as far as lifting. I have 2 herniated discs. I see a chiropractor once a month. Dr. Sear, what up? Yeah, man, just take care of yourself. Try and eat the best you can. You know, I already had a hard roll this morning with my coffee, but I mean, I'm gonna burn that off in, you know, an hour. So, yeah, just a little more, I guess. I don't even know what to call these videos yet. Until I really get the GoPro is when I'm actually going to probably see, you know, or you guys will actually probably see a lot better content. This is kind of, we'll call this like an introduction to introducing myself, some of my equipment, some of my saws, some tips like this that you may or may not know. And yeah, so hope everybody has a good Thursday and a good weekend. All right, we'll talk to you later.